Hey, what's happening? We're at League Park in Cleveland, the historic League Park. And if you want to see what you do to a stadium instead of destroying it and leveling it, this is what you do to preserve a place like this. Man, this is fantastic. I'm going to show you around a little bit. For right now, though, we're going to get started. This was the old ticket office where you walk through and get your tickets. And we're going to walk along the first baseline, and the wall is still there. So let's just walk around and take a look at the historic League Park here in Cleveland. No, this isn't the exact fence, but it's the exact dimensions. And if you were standing right here on August 11th, 1929, you would have seen Babe Ruth's 500th home run sail right over this fence.
Just across the street, you got some heroes up there. And then we're going to walk along the first baseline here at League Park, and this is all original. You can imagine some kids running along this sidewalk. You can hear the crack of the bat, the crowd going, and they probably pick up their pace trying to get inside.
The League Park was built in 1891 in Cleveland, Ohio as a wooden structure, and it was rebuilt in 1910 with concrete and steel. And it was on the corner of 66th Street and Lexington Avenue. It was first home to the Cleveland Spiders from 1891 to 1899. The Cincinnati Reds played the Spiders in the first game here on May 1st, 1891, with Cy Young being the winning pitcher for the Spiders. It was also here that Joe DiMaggio on July 16, 1941 collected 3 hits. It was the 56th game in a row in which Joe had at least one base hit. I think we know what happened the next game that he played. Now, a couple other notable players that played for the Cleveland teams here. One was Nap Lazoie, in which the team was actually named after, and the year after that, in 1915, it became the Cleveland Indians. And Tris Speaker also played here, and he recorded his 3,000th hit at League Park. With the new Cleveland Stadium opening in 1932, League Park saw a decline in usage by the Indians. The franchise left the park for good after the 1946 season. Now, League Park was the last Major League stadium to never install permanent lights. The last of its baseball life was being the home field to the Negro American League Cleveland Buckeyes, which ended during the 1950 season. Well, leaving League Park, I head over to Lakeview Cemetery, and this place is massive. I know there's a few ball players in here, so let me get inside and take a look around. So driving through Lakeview, I came upon this structure emerging through the trees, and I had to stop and take a look and to see who was this. So I approached it and realized this is none other than the patriarch of the Rockefeller family, John D. Rockefeller himself. I'm sure he attended a few ball games, so I figured it was worth putting him on here. Now, the first player I came to was planter George Branigan. He played for the Cleveland Elites in 1926, which was their only year in existence, and it's the only year that he played. He was the pitcher and had a 2-1 record. George's burial was paid for by an outside source, so I'm not sure if there's a grave marker there. I spent time in the office looking, and they directed us to the section. My son and I looked all over the area. We could not find it. Now, if you can find a picture of Mr. Branigan, forward that to me on my YouTube page, and also if you can find a marker, forward that also, and I'll replay this again and give him his due and put his photo on the video. Now, up the base path, we come to Pete Hodling, nicknamed Monkey. Now, he was primarily a center fielder, and he played most of his career with Cleveland teams, and that spanned from 1879 to 1888. Now, while catching in the minors, he was actually one of the first ones to wear a catcher's mask. Now, after baseball, Pete worked as a grocer and a machinist. He died of pneumonia at the age of 71. Up the base path, we come to Oliver Welth. Now, Welth played on the Cleveland Indians for one season. That was in 1916. His only major league appearance was that of a pinch runner on August 30th of that season. Now, sadly, he didn't score, but hey, he scored a spot on our squad. Oliver Welth died on June 15th, 1967. Now we take a stroll to Cleveland Indians Hall of Fame member Raymond Chapman. Now, Chapman played shortstop for Cleveland from 1912 to 1920. and he still holds a major league record for sacrifice bunts in a season with 67, which he accomplished in 1917. There was talk that Chapman was going to make 1920 his last season and join the family business that he recently married into. Now, Chapman was having a fine year in 1920, batting .303 with 97 runs scored. But on August 16th, he was hit in the head by a pitch thrown by Carl Mays at the Polo Grounds. On-deck hitter Tris Speaker was the first to Chapman's aid. But sadly, Chapman died the next morning at the hospital at 4:40 a.m. His pregnant wife arrived at 10 a.m., and when she found out of his passing, she passed out in the hospital. The Chapman story was at the forefront of requiring batters to wear a helmet, but yet it still took 30 more years before that became a league rule. Now Chapman could underhand the ball to our next player, and that is Charles Heineberger. Now he played for Cleveland from 1907 to 1910 as a pitcher. Now, Heine's career ended with a 32-29 record. Now Heine was a common nickname for some reason for German ball players, actually 22 in fact, before the mid-20th century, but none since. Berger died on February 10th, 1954. Now we come to Milo Hathaway Lockwood. Born in 1858, Lockwood played one season for the Washington Nationals, and that was in 1884, where he posted a 1-9 record as a pitcher. Sadly, brought on by extremely ill health and lots of pain, Lockwood took a gun into a hotel and took his own life in 1897. Now we come to William Johnson. Now, Johnson played just one season for the Cleveland Forest Cities in 1871, and during that year he collected 15 hits. William Johnson passed away in 1909. Now we come to Dave Pope. Dave made his debut with the Cleveland Indians in 1952, and he appeared for them in the 1954 World Series playing right field, where he had the best seat in the house to Willie Mays' famous catch at the Polo Grounds. But it's his team in 1946 when he was playing for the Homestead Grays that kind of gets my attention. Listen to some of these teammates of his in that year. Josh Gibson, Buck Leonard, Sam Bankhead, Cool Papa Bell, Ted Double Duty Radcliffe. Wow. Now Dave retired from baseball at the age of 40 after a long career. He was very active in his church, and he passed away of leukemia at the age of 78. Now we make our way to Edward Mcfarland. Now Mcfarland played for several teams during his 14-year career, and it's said that alcoholism really hurt what could have been a far more productive career. Edward played most of his career as a catcher, and he was a lifetime .275 hitter, quite respectable. Mcfarland sadly died of injuries from a fall at the age of 85. Now we come to Ernest Kish. Mr. Kish played for the Philadelphia A's in 1945, primarily as an outfielder, and he hit .245 in that year. Now, after failing to make the club in 1946, he left baseball for good and took over the family business. He passed away just before Christmas on December 21st, 1993. Now batting is Parnell Woods. Now, Parnell played pro ball from 1937 to 1949. He called two ballparks home that I recently visited, Rickwood Field when he played for the Birmingham Black Barons, and League Park when he played for the Cleveland Buckeyes. In 1942, Parnell was on the Negro League American League All-Star team, teaming up with Cool Papa Bell and Jimmy Crutchfield. Now, he was a career .292 hitter, but was considered too old to get a shot at the major leagues. His last year playing was for the AAA Oakland Oaks of the Pacific Coast League. Parnell Woods passed away in 1977 at the age of 65. John Potts played for the Kansas City Packers of the Federal League for just one season in 1914. He played right field that year. John Potts passed away in 1962. Well, that's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon.